And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. It's a snack pack, everyone. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here for Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On this week's episode, we at the State of Pro Wrestling take over the Pop Culture Cosmos and decide who we think should be in the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame class for 2024. We decide who makes it and who doesn't. Go ahead and check it out today wherever you get your podcasts. Also, as well, upcoming this week, Inside Sports Fantasy Football. Hopefully, you had a good fantasy football weekend. I think I split my games 1-1, so I'll take that as a win. But yes, it is, of course, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, JSJ, another day. Well, actually, we had a day off from the Lakers Fast Break yesterday. I said we were thinking about taking a day off. Yeah, kind of needed it. Although for our audio listeners, you got caught up with the Lakerholics crew for Sunday. So you guys got a special treat as well. But of course, also speaking of Lakerholics, Lakerholics.com. And of course, also as well, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Yo, Empire Jeff TV, Lakers in 5, John McCalian channel, all those great channels. Please support. And also, as well, go ahead and check out what we're doing each and every time out right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Please like and subscribe to get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air with the latest Lakers Fast Break podcast. And don't forget, we always can appreciate you if you send us out those memberships once a month for just $2.99 a month. You get emojis, badges, inside information. I throw you little tidbits of stuff with articles, videos, and more right there for you for just $2.99 a month. Indeed, all a part of what you are doing for us. 1,900 subscribers strong right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Yes, we went over 1,900 overnight, and we are truly thankful and blessed to have you a part of what we do right here at the LFB. JSG show. It's so funny. Anybody coming on this show who is not using their camera, you guys always say, show your face, show your face. Laker Nick, he doesn't want to use his camera, Xbox. There you go, Mark. All right. You didn't have to if you didn't want to, my friend.
No, it's
Okay.
more so I'm using this sort of old gaming laptop, so I'm not sure if the camera's the best quality, to be honest. But
Well,
I do
that's
have
fine.
like a camera that I can hook up eventually. But I am alive and I'm here and real.
Okay, absolutely. You're not AI. So there you
No,
go.
that's right. Yeah,
No, the only time I
my
worry
answer's that
about
good
that,
enough.
about what kind of camera you have, is when the Lakerholics crew, Jamie loves this angle where you're close up. And
Yeah,
the
got
problem
you.
is,
No, back out ASAP.
yeah, the problem is when you do it close up like that, it the frames per second, it slows your camera, it slows down. You're a lot of
Gotcha.
cameras cannot handle close up as far as just already the feed, internet, all the information and just doing it the larger screen you have, the I guess just the less they can handle. I know that you'll see that, guys, when you watch the Lakerholics and Jamie does those close-ups, and it's like
Oh,
it looks like a game from the 1990s or whatnot. You just like way too
you
much
want me to do
information.
what Jamie does? I'll pick up my laptop, go to my sink, and start washing some dishes and
Yes,
talk to
yes,
you.
Washington, exactly,
He's
Deep. I
very
love those
skilled.
guys. Lakerholics.com. But we're here today to talk about the Lakers. Tomorrow, of course, the Lakers have a game against the Utah Jazz. Looking forward to going ahead and covering it for you right here. I know Josh D says, I miss my Joe Soro. I put the
Look,
invite out.
me too.
Uh,
I
yes,
went personally to him as well.
yes, I
Sorry,
put the
guys.
invite out, and he's still, I guess, a little upset. So that's Joe. You know, he'll get over it eventually, I'm sure. But it is,
He's fine. I think he's out and about.
that's
Um,
fine. Well, I wish him well. Sorry that he took it so badly, but he insults us and teases everybody and insults everybody. But then when he gets clowned a little bit, he got upset, and I'm so sorry.
He'll
Okay,
be
you could hear the
right.
sarcasm through my voice
Yeah,
on that
you
one.
guys are having a bit of fun with it,
Always a bit of fun.
which is
I didn't
good.
know he would. I didn't know you'd take it so seriously. I just was having a bit of fun. But okay, all right, whatever. It's all right.
We'll
He'll
sort it
come
out.
out. He'll come out. The grizzly bear will come out of his cave. You know what? It's hibernation for now. He'll come out of his cave. Yes,
I
Josh.
can start ranting if you want.
No,
Aussie rant.
no, you go absolutely, but nothing to rant right now.
No,
But I did want to ask you right first off. I want to go ahead. Do you want to talk the news and notes first, or do you want to talk the main topic first, my friend?
is the main topic the statue,
No, the main
or
topic is
for the nine and
actually
four?
yeah, the 9 and 4 because I've been listening over the course of the weekend. I do catch up on the news, catch up on the updates, YouTube podcasts. I try to
Yeah,
listen to all these experts as many as I can and get a good feel about what they and their audiences are saying about the Lakers. Some of it is you know, right on,
look, I
spot
think we've
on.
got a bit to flesh out there. So if we get
Yeah.
through the news, let's get into that a little bit later
Okay.
because we get
Absolutely.
more detail. Because I'm not happy with that
Yeah.
sort of
And again,
thought
I
process.
I'll go ahead later on and say, yeah, we'll talk more about it as far as, some are not on board with the Lakers and some are. We'll talk about if they think the 9-4 start is legit or
Mhm.
if it's not. That's coming up later in the program. But I do want to get some stuff out of the way first. We'll start off with Pat Riley, who is going to be honored. Got the information coming up here. He is going to be honored with a statue. It was just announced earlier today. I'm very happy for him that he is going to have that day. I'm looking at the Lakers official press release, and they have commissioned the statue, but they have not set a date yet from what I see on the press release.
Yeah,
But hey, 1 out of 2 ain't bad. Pat Riley is going to get a statue. Your thoughts, my friend, on Pat Riley getting a statue? I know you have not been there. I have been to Crypto
yeah,
Park and taken pictures with some of the statues there. I think it is truly humbling when I go there. I know sometimes people go there and pay respect and homage, and then other times I've been there and it's people just ignoring it altogether. But I think the fact that he is going to be honored with a statue because of what he did, building that really really sensational team over the course of the 80s has got to be appreciated, and I'm so glad that they're going to do this for him.
yeah. Look, I'm born in '85, so for me, in terms of Pat Riley's Laker career, I don't know it super well, other than obviously the research that we do or the history that we get through this channel. So I decided to quickly have a look, obviously, what he'd done for us, and man, that's the statue every day of the week. If
Exactly,
you're
Bag of Dragon. Yes, I hope the same people who did
Yeah,
D-Wade do
well,
not do.
that's
Yes.
my thought straight away was that as well. Hopefully, they've employed someone a little bit better than that. But suffice to say, does he deserve a statue? Yeah, the answer's got to be yes.
Mhm.
Because being such an avid Pau Gasol man, as soon as I heard Pat Riley was getting a statue, I thought to myself, where's the Power statue? Because I would love to see a Power and Kobe statue. I just think they meant so much to each other, and
Yeah.
we haven't fully respected. Well, we respect that relationship, but when you see his relationship with Shaq compared to what he had with Power, obviously I'm a big Power fan, being a Spaniard, whatever, whatever. But yeah, that's what I thought straight away. But then I even thought a little bit harder. I don't think there's a Phil Jackson statue. I think was it
No, no Phil
in,
Jackson statue
Intel's
yet.
pointed that out, so
Yes. And
it's like
Intel wants
who
a Wilt statue. I think
as well.
yeah, great suggestions.
Yeah,
Hey, they
yeah,
got their space. If you go there, they have the space down.
yeah.
It's a Chickhearn Boulevard, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but when you go down
Sounds
there,
right.
there's plenty of space on the walkways. There's vendors there and all that trying to sell
Gotcha.
you stuff.
Nah,
But
perfect.
there's
Yeah.
there's plenty of space to put in as many people that they feel deserving of it as possible. So they can do it. They can do it.
Well, look, and then so you don't really have to think, is this, is Pat Riley statue in lieu of, Phil's? Eventually, there will be Phil's, and then potentially there might be Power. So that sounds great, and he deserves it. He really does. I obviously looked at what he did for us, and subsequently what he's, obviously you don't count success for Miami for us, but in terms of the greatness of the man, yeah, statues are given,
You
Gerald.
might
So
have
yeah,
a
really
statue both
happy.
in Miami and LA. Xbox.
Yeah, well, and maybe we get the good one. He gets the D Wade replica in Miami, and we get an actual statue. That'd be
Maybe
nice.
you may be right on that one. We'll see. Until a while, it says Mark Landsberger needs a statue. Also, there you go. How about the?
Oh,
Wasn't
oh,
he
and
the
anyone.
one? I think wasn't Landsberger that was the right in the middle of the Dr. J swoop, if I'm not mistaken. Mark Landsberger was right in there involved in that play. If not, I would say
Gotcha.
that's
Yeah, I'm looking him up now. Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
look, born May 21st, same day as me, but 30 years prior,
yes.
1955.
But
Oh, we
I
get the
think
statue just for
I
that.
think Landsberger was involved in that play with famous play with Dr. J with the underhand scoop. So if that's the case,
Gotcha.
I'm not sure. Yes, a fast break statue, Bag and Dragon. Yes, we'll take a fast break statue. Absolutely. There you go, a
That's
deity. But
inevitable.
Intel, no update on a day. If one comes about and comes available, I will retweet it on Lakers Fast Break at Twitter. And then also, if I could remember, to Lakers Fast Break on Blue Sky, now that we're on that as well. So go ahead and make sure that you catch that. And then again, I will try to also announce it on the show, but no date was given in the press release. I'm assuming citing because they just commissioned
Yeah.
it the other day and they really don't have any idea how long it's going to take to make that. So I would not
Yeah.
anticipate it until maybe what, February at the earliest. It would probably be my guess on that one. So we'll
Yeah. Well,
see
I
what
don't think you want
happens.
to put a timeline on any statues right now. You want to get
No,
them
not
right because they
yeah,
can't do that again. Seriously,
no.
if from Ronaldo to the Kobe statue with all sorts of issues, and then to the D Wade one. I mean, that's a farce. That statue. If you actually look at it, that is horrific. So hopefully they get this right. Hey, take your time.
They will
Statue's
release
not
it to
going
stay.
anywhere once it's done.
They will release it to stay relevant when they get knocked out of the playoffs. Back Dragon,
Yeah, it
you're being
seems
extra
like
cold
they
tonight.
the
But
Lakers don't miss the news cycle, do they? We're sort of 2 days out, so I think they've seen this as a perfect time to announce this. And especially the other thing is Gerald, and might be on
mhm.
the news agenda, but Bronny's had an absolute shocker again in the G League. So maybe
That's
putting
what I
this
want to
out there
talk about
takes off a bit
next.
of yeah,
Absolutely. So, to give you another news bit update, this will also lead into our injury update as far as the team is concerned. I know that people are asking, and it's funny because USA Today still has an article on how. So, how did Bronny do today in the G League? And the thing is, people are still trying to visit it and all that stuff. It's like blows my mind. He had another 4-point game. Was it 2 of 10? I think 2 of 10, if I'm not mistaken. Just absolutely
gonna
miserable
get a
shooting
stat.
day for him. Quincy Olivari, Armel Traore coming back after he gave you all that energy the previous day. The next day, it had a double double for the G League South Bay Lakers as well. So yeah, great start for the some of the G Leaguers in the South Bay, except for Bronny James. At this point, he shouldn't even be starting in the G League, Mark, because it's absolutely a miserable sight.
Well, and I think to myself, what's it doing to the other players in the squad? I've always thought like, okay, sometimes in football, you'll have a player that's getting paid, sometimes two times more than the rest of the players in the team,
Mhm.
and they're not the best player in the team. It might be a historical contract or, their name to bring them in, and things like that. And I think to myself, what are some of these guys thinking? How Bronny's getting treated? I mean, under their breath, they must be going, WTF? What's going on here? Because the guy's not good enough, as you said, to start in the G League, but he's only playing home games, and then he's playing with us on the road, or if they're on the road, he's with us. Like something's got to give at one point. And I think that's sort of, there's been a bit of talk by that Brian Windhorse. I think he's pulled it back a bit in terms of, I think more about the coverage of how it's being portrayed, this whole thing, because no one, ESPN and what have you aren't going hard about it.
And
Um,
he was critical. He didn't like it at all as far as that
yeah,
setup. Mentioned it on the Hoop Collective. And yeah, like you said, he got a little bit of brushback, but I agree with him. I think
Oh,
the stinks. If there is an NBA player in him, which I am very doubtful that there is,
yeah.
if there is, you're never going to find out the way that they're treating him right now. So
No, exactly. And so you're treating him incorrectly. By that, you're also ostracizing a lot of the team. Like we said the other day with JJ when he was asked about Quincy, and he said he's not looking at him.
yeah,
Why? I
the kid's
mean,
getting
like
30,
JJ's done
25,
everything
30.
right except that
Yeah,
for me, Gerald. You
yeah,
should have said, yeah, hell yeah, we're looking at him. The guy's scoring 30 plus points. We're not going to be the only team that's looking at him.
yeah.
He'll go to another team if we're not careful eventually. So that was disappointing to me. Still remains disappointing that he said that, but JJ's done everything else right, so we move forward. But yeah, Bronny, I don't know. I mean, can you honestly see him being there for 4 years?
Well, he's
Like,
got that
players
fourth
need to
year.
get better.
The fourth year is an option, but
Okay.
if LeBron has any influence, even at that time, which he might be retired at that point in time, or probably will be retired at that point in time, depending on who you talk to, he probably will have that fourth year picked up unless he's really, really bad, which could be very well a possibility if he continues
Yeah.
like this. Because I have not yet seen a game where I think he is an NBA level player, not even in
Have you
his
seen a
best
moment?
games. Yeah,
Even when he shoots, it doesn't look good. His
yeah,
steal, yeah, he can steal one or like a steal's a steal. Oh, we could go on the court and steal.
yeah.
Like that's not the skill you're looking for an NBA player. So I just don't see it. I've said it a few times, and I don't want to go into a rant mode, but his body type's not. It doesn't look to me to be. Obviously, he's not tall enough, but
Mhm.
even his physique, like he's not he's not ripped or anything. Like he's not. He's fit. He's not out of shape, but there's nothing there for me, Gerald. Nothing there, and there's nothing that you can look back at. Obviously he had the heart injury or whatever, but his college career was poor. I mean, you look at tapes from high school, he's average. So, you think, okay, so just hypothetically, we get to the end of this season or next, and LeBron retires, like. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, who's going to
Yeah.
protect Bronny? I think it's honestly, we might look back at this and just go, "What the hell was that? What the
Oh,
hell was that?"
Olivari is on a two-way bag of dragons. So the Lakers retain his rights for the year. He could play up to 40 games, if I'm not mistaken, on a
Mm,
two-way contract. So they have to pick and choose which games he wants to that they want him to play up on the big roster or be eligible for. If he sits on the bench, but he's still a part of the roster for that game, he is
it
still
counts.
that still counts as a game
Mm,
off of his two ways. So they're being careful about that. But the fact is that when JJ made those comments, those are we always talk about how good JJ is doing and his motivation and his passion to win and the things he's drawing
yeah,
up and the
that
fact
was
that
wrong.
he's finally he's making changes quicker in the rotation and the lineup than Ham would have and all that. He says little things like
Yeah,
this that irk me and irk a lot of the Lakers fans. At least give the kid some rub. He's killing it in the G League. I understand it's a G League. I get it. But when you have Bronny James that can't even score above 4 points in the G League, and you have this other kid who's getting 25, 24, 27, 30 plus points, it's not good at all for your team. And then you talked about, what about the other players on the team? What about the guys on the bench right now for the G League? They had a kid named DeJuan Gordon score 17 points and 9 rebounds coming off the bench, and he's a guard. He's looking at himself and saying, "Hey, I'm doing this for the team. How come I have to sit in back while Bronny is starting and not even helping the team out?"
yeah. No, you're right. I'm looking at the box score now, and man, there's some pretty nice numbers there by that Traore, who we know, okay, he's
Yes.
giving him a chance to a degree.
And then
But like
he's
you
on a
said,
two-way too, just to let
a
everybody know.
two-way as well. Gordon's gotten 17. Even some of these other guys, I'm not sure of their size. Like this Veal guy, he got 12 off the bench. I've seen that Fudge sort of in and out of the team, but I mean, just look at Bronny's line there. I mean, That is
It's not
absolutely
good.
horrible. And if you're going back from the NBA into the G League, you need to be dominating. That's my
Yeah.
read on it. If you're an NBA player that goes back to the G League, you okay, it might not be the first game, but his performance is not up to scratch. We know that. I don't know where it's going. We'll just keep doing it because, yeah, it's going to make LeBron happy, I guess, for now. But we haven't seen any signs to suggest that what we've done there is a good move. And I'm all for developing players, but how about we develop some of the guys we've already got, like AR and stuff that
Yeah.
need to go to the next level. Like, let's put some more time into them rather than Bronny James. But yeah, it's just it's the what you spoke about the other day. It's the jersey sales. It's the appeasing of LeBron. There's more to this decision, as we know,
Yeah.
as we keep saying. But from a basketball point of view, it doesn't make any sense.
Maybe BD he'll be saved for the playoffs, but he has to be on a regular contract. And to be on the playoff roster, he cannot be on a two-way. He has to be on a play. He has to be an actual contracted player. So the thing is, they are stuck against the second tax apron. If they figure out a way to maybe shave off some of that money before the end of the season by trading away some players, they can't release players because you're still responsible for them for their salaries. But if they find a way to trade some players and be able to lower that a little bit, maybe they can get Olivari on a full
Gotcha.
contract before the season, before the year's over. They do have the right to do that. They do have the right to put him on a regular contract
Before
before
anyone
the end of
else,
the
kind of
season.
thing. Gotcha.
Yes, yes. So because they
Well,
have his protected rights right now, so that's at least a sign that the Lakers can make the right move if they want to go ahead and do so. But we will see. But speaking of
fingers crossed.
Bronny James, and speaking of injuries, I'm going to go ahead and come up here for tomorrow's game. There's still a report as far as what status right now. Let me go ahead and I'll share it with everybody out there. Wanted to go ahead and bring it up for you guys right now. Coming up right now. There it is right there. So share it right there. Bring it up for you now. On for tomorrow's game, Nate. We've got on the injury report AD,
Ooh.
and you're going to see him on this list pretty much every day because of the plantar fasciitis.
Yep.
Rui Hashimura has been upgraded to questionable. He's a maybe for tomorrow, although it is against Utah. I'd say at this point, JJ was saying he hopes to get him back this week. So the questionable, I think, is probably still going to be out tomorrow. And
Yeah.
Bronny James Jr., speaking of which, has a left heel contusion. I guess shooting all those bricks hurts your heel, my friend, because he is doubtful for tomorrow. Are you worried the Lakers won't win the game because Bronny James is doubtful?
Yes, that's my main concern out of that injury lineup, particularly a lineup that has AD on it, is that Bronny James won't play, and therefore we will lose. But
Okay.
um, might be counterproductive. It might be counterintuitive. If he doesn't play, we win. The boys might be actually happy. So we'll see. The worry there obviously is AD. If he's out, then it brings us back to the pack because I have seen Utah a couple of times, and they still do have some pretty tall threats. Like that John Collins, when he wants to play, he can play. So if he's
Yeah,
got
it
no way,
seems like it's an every other year thing for him.
yeah,
He plays so
temperamental,
well, got his big contract, then he went off the deep end on his play.
big time.
He
Yeah,
can't, went into the doghouse. All of a sudden this year, it's like I'm ready to
I'm
be
back,
back.
baby. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I know I
no
can't
kidding.
work it out, but that's a worry for us to a degree. Hopefully tomorrow's a off game for him because without an AD, there's a chance for him to dominate. You've obviously got the other tall Finnish dude who's a very good scorer as well. Um, yeah, when we spoke, obviously I looked at Utah and I thought, oh, that's a, not a guaranteed win, but that's a W. But then you start factoring in AD missing, Rui missing, them playing better in the last week and a bit. It's going to be a tough game, very tough game if AD misses. So fingers crossed he makes it. If he does, then I'd be very confident that we can get over the top. But other than that, it's going to be tight. And yeah, we're going to talk about the 9-4 start, but we've had some good wins in there and some tight losses too. So it'd be, if we can keep it going here, 10-4, 11-4, if we can beat Orlando, man, it'd be a really, really nice start, but it's got, it could go the other way very quickly. So fingers crossed AD plays, Gerald.
Fingers crossed indeed. Again, it's up to that tricky left plantar fasciitis. We'll find out to see on it just on a game to game basis. Could be we won't know till just before game time at least one or two occasions this season where it just doesn't work out on his warm up before the game and they says no go and we could just happen like that. So we will hope that his plantar fasciitis is not going to be too debilitating for him going forward. I did want to mention upcoming for the Orlando Magic game, I am going to have, as far as on the pregame, I'll bring on Alfred Esmond. He said he wanted to talk
Awesome.
his usual Orlando Magic, so it'd be great to hear from him, especially Orlando Magic. They're the trivia question: who is the only other decent team or successful team with that has been above 500 for most of the season in the Eastern Conference outside of Cleveland, Boston? And the answer is them, even
Yeah, it's the
without Paulo
Magic.
Banchero. Yeah,
Mm, mm.
yeah,
Yeah, they had a rough
absolutely.
period when he got injured, but they've been playing better since then. But man, he's like Paolo, he's a decent player. Like when I watch him, even when I like his rookie year, I thought, man, this guy, his size,
Hmm.
he's a strong player, he can dribble, he can do it all to, sort of like a decent Ben Simmons in terms of he can shoot as well. He's obviously not a playmaker like Ben, but yeah, man, there's something there for sure. Like Orlando would be pretty pleased they got a guy like that, because they've always been, other than the Shaq years, Penny or whatever, they've always been pretty run of the mill mediocre. But he might give them a bit more, if he can get them into a four spot in the East. You don't know what the East is weak. You might end up making the like Indiana did the conference finals or something like that. If you have a decent run, they got close. They went okay in the playoffs, I think last year. Orlando, could be completely wrong
Yes.
about that. They were in there. So yeah, no, they're definitely on the way up. So getting Alfred's thoughts on where they're at would be awesome.
Yes, and we will have that later this week when the Lakers meet up against the Orlando Magic, indeed. But yes, it is the Lakers, and I wanted to say they are 9-4 heading into their game tomorrow against Utah. And again, as I said earlier, and I mentioned it, I've been hearing a lot of podcasts, watching a lot of videos, watching these experts, about the Lakers. And so I ask you, Mark, a lot of them are not taking the Lakers start seriously enough. They're saying it's not legitimate enough. And I get why they say that because we have had a little bit of a softer schedule, especially and very fortunate schedule, especially coming back from the road trip where the Lakers at this point, remember, they came back for the road trip and it was looking really bad. But the Lakers have gone on a heater since then. They've won five in a row
Yeah,
and things look a lot better now as far as because of it. But the games that have been laid out in front of them, that's all they can do. They can only play who is in front of them. Yes, a lot of it has been about timing, about injuries, and about basically some of these teams are just truly disappointing that they played in the first place. But the Lakers have beaten the teams in front of them so far for the most part. The Detroit game, maybe you could say the game in Memphis, they didn't show up for. The Detroit game, they should have won, especially if you talk to L Rob, who was at the game. But
mm.
Xbox, when it comes right down to it, how much stock or how much validity do you take into the 9-4 start this season?
Well, a lot. I mean, like you said there, you can only play who you're playing against. You can only win who you're playing against, and the facts of the matter are as well. If you look at, okay, we lost to the. If I'm looking just at the quickly at the losses, we lost to the Cavs, we
Mhm.
lost to the Grizz, we lost to the Pistons. Who the Pistons aren't easy beats like they have been in years gone by. I mean, they're not the best team in the NBA. Cavs haven't lost, or they might have lost once since then. Grizzlies on their home turf can be a tough team. So what else are we supposed to do here? We beat the Suns in. I think it was in Phoenix, and then they beat us at our place, or the reverse. Both tight games. So we could eat, like, you could say you don't put any weight in the 9-4. Well, we could be 13-0, or 13-1. At the same time, I mean, on the flip, we've had tight games, so we could be, a 500 record as well. But the facts are we're winning. There's a lot of, if you don't want to give us credit, you should probably start watching the games, because there's a lot of adjustments that JJ is doing that we're loving it as fans, that we wouldn't see under Ham, and we would have lost games like we did the other day when he made the adjustment, got Gabe out, put in Max, left Dalton to ride out there, things like that. What else are we, is the guy supposed to do? LeBron has had some very dominant games, but he's had some quiet games as well, and we've won. That's a good sign. AD's played well every single game. Another, I think he was out one game, or possibly two, but great signs there. Dalton's had a quieter games, but he's had great performances. AR's had great performances, quieter games. So we can't do anything more. I'm liking, we've said this on the weekend that things can change in a game, and we might lose it. That's how tight the margins are, but that's across the board in the NBA. It's, there is the teams that will get the blowout wins and can sit stars, but look at Dallas. They've played 6 or 7 games. Even yesterday, they won a game by 2 points where they lost the previous 4 or 5 by 8 or 10 in total. So, are we going to turn around and say the Mavericks are no good? I mean, I'm not copying that. The Lakers are doing all they can. You've won 5 in a row. There is good signs when you consider we do have injuries, and the squad itself, like, isn't what we want. So, nah, man, I think it's a great start. I mean, and I put a lot of kudos into it. We obviously know that we are very top heavy, and if it keeps going like this for 60 to 70 games, we are worried that the wear and tear on LeBron and AD is going to have an effect. But at the same time, we're 9-4. We're third in the Western Conference. Man, I mean, if you're not going to respect us, like, just go watch Boston games or whatever you do.
uh,
Sorry.
no, it's okay. And again, it's for me, it's just that there's this always funny feeling I have because of the fact that our team is not deep.
Mm,
So I always feel like we're on a tightrope. We are just one AD or LeBron injury away from it all collapsing. I don't know about you. I always get that feeling. It's like in the
yeah.
back of my, in the back of my head. Just I just feel very concerned. I mean,
Yeah.
I can try and enjoy it. I'm trying to say, you know what, I'm ready to eat the olives with Joe when they every 30
I was
game
gonna
mark and
bring
all
some
that.
olive. I can go to my fridge and get some olives for you if you like.
So, but yeah, I I'm ready to do that. I enjoy it,
Yeah.
but the fact is, again, I'm just this team is not deep, and JJ is doing a lot of this with smoke and mirrors. So that's why I think he's really doing a good job because of the fact he is doing it despite the injuries to a lot of the rotation guys. One, in fact, in Vando, who has not been here all the season, who could have been a key part of the rotation. We don't know if he can be is in JJ's rotation or not. We'll see if that works when he comes back. But
Yeah.
he could have been someone that could have really helped the team get some minutes in. Anything to reduce the workload for LeBron and AD. That is my primary concern right now. Is yes, it's 9-4. It looks good, but is it too taxing on LeBron and AD right now?
Yeah, it's a massive worry. I mean, it's what we keep talking about. It's close wins, and the risk that one of those two players gets injured, and the 9-4 record all of a sudden's 12-10, and then it's the losses are starting to overtake the wins. So we know that, Joe, we are very, very top heavy, but JJ's got to know that as well. Unfortunately, he hasn't been in a position where he can pull out the superstars. But they're not, as we've said as well, they're not superstars that are going to load manage. So you need to look for chopping out minutes during a game to help these guys out, help themselves. Um, but whether or not we're going to get that much separation during games, where that's going to happen consistently during the season, I'm just not sure. And then therefore we're going to continue to have that worry in the back of our mind. But try and enjoy it as well, because I like, despite all that and the fact that it could crash like a house of cards overnight if we do get an injury, I think you got to look at the bigger positives, which is JJ, which is Dalton. Like, if we want to win the season. We want to
Yeah.
win. I don't care about the NBA Cup, but I want to win the chip. But at the same time, I'm going to keep looking for promising signs, because we are so top heavy, and I'm not, if LeBron all of a sudden gets injured next game, we just say really really shocking scenario, LeBron gets an ACL and he's out for the whole season. We've got no chance from that point to win the chip. So just try to enjoy some, look for other little things and enjoy that on top of the wins, Gerald. That's only my recommendation. Um, and you never know, we might get lucky with these boys. Somehow in his 40th year, he might be able to ride out 82 games and a whole playoff series.
Yeah.
We might get lucky. So let's just keep taking the wins whilst we can. But yeah, in the back of our mind, we're super worried. And the other thing that worries us is some of the players, and they're, like a D'Lo, like I said on the weekend. Man, I wish he had his head right and he looked at this bench as an opportunity, because he like, when he comes off the bench, he gets the ball more because he's not typically playing with LeBron. So he's got to look at it like an opportunity, and if he can elevate his game to where he was a few years ago and score that 15 to 20 points, well, then my mindset starts changing even more. That, we've got a decent bench scorer, we've got an okay starting lineup, like, we start getting real positive under that scenario. But yeah, just don't know with D'Lo and some of these other injuries. But oh yeah, to not give us credit, it's not the right thing to do, because we have had good performances. We haven't played Denver and things like that, but we've played some good teams. So uh, you know, I'm gonna I'm going to enjoy it, because I think back to how we started under Ham and things like that, and we were just chasing our tail the whole time. At least this way, we're in front of the tail, and it's a decent buffer. Like, we can lose one game, and okay, we're 9-5, but we've got a we've got a buffer, and I'm going to take it, because it has been like that the last few years. We've been scrapping for our food all the time.
I'll tell you what, though, it is good. It will enjoy it right now at 9-4. Again, as long as AD and LeBron stay healthy. I mean, LeBron, yes, I understand that there was somebody, Rick Bucher talked about, that 9-4 start. LeBron choosing where he wants to be effective at. I get it. He doesn't play defense anymore. I understand that. There's like those one or two plays when he turns back the clock or when somebody pisses him off. I get that. But we're at least getting him at somewhere. He's still the number two player on this team. He is no longer the number one player on this team,
Yeah,
day in, day out, game in, game out, but he can still elevate on that occasion. But AD is playing at an MVP like level, and that's what we need right now at 9-4. Plus, a man I want to talk to you about now, Dalton Connect. I have been on Dalton Connect, that train, for quite some time.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I am going to go ahead and pat on myself on the back. I know Joe said
yeah,
not to start him now because he was rookie, but I saw things in the summer league, in
yeah,
preseason, live in person. I saw this man and how he was able to handle the situation. And because he's an older rookie, he's able to take advantage. Mark, we're now seeing, it took a little bit of time. Everybody about what a week, 2 weeks ago was talking about, oh, how bad is this rookie class? It's terrible. It's getting off to the worst start in NBA history.
Oh
Blah
man,
blah 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 blah.
hot take.
But I'm telling you one, in the past week, we've seen Jared McCain from Philadelphia. We've seen Dalton Connect from the Lakers. We've seen other rookies start to season up, start to find their footing, starting to help their teams. And I don't think this will be the best class or even close to it, but I do think there are going to be players in this class like Dalton Connect, which can help their teams sooner rather than later.
Yeah, well, we've seen it, and I think I always remember when you talk about Dalton and going to the preseason game, that as much of what you admired, on him on the court was how he handled himself off the court. I think you mentioned with the fans and maybe just his general demeanor. So, man, I love that. And I know you're the president. You made me the president of the Giddy fan club. So I'm making you the honorary president of the Dalton Connect fan club. So that's for you, Gerald. But
And I know
we
his defense, and they are targeting him out on traders. Yes, we
yeah,
all see that. But what he gives you on the offensive end right now, I think, and as a playmaker too, the guy is rebounding. He is finding people with good passing. He's doing things on the offensive end. This team is not caring about defense, Mark. It's clear they are one of the worst defensive teams in the league right now. So defense has not been a priority. I know Rui, when he comes back, they're going to talk about putting him, but I think at this point, would you start Cam or would you start Dalton at this point when Rui comes back?
oh man, I'm starting Dalton every day of the week for the rest of the year. Like Cam, when he came into the lineup, offered that defensive threat, but I just feel like D'Lo was playing so bad. Anyone else that came in was going to be an upside. Where Dalton's the future, so like, why wouldn't you? There might be a point where you do play a Reddish over him, you want to rest him or whatever, but to the discussion we had the other day, the guys just scored 27 points and carried the team. If and there's potentially an open roster spot if Rui's out, you got to start Dalton. Like it's a no-brainer. And also like you're talking there about the rookie class. I mean, I always thought to myself the NBA is quite brutal in how they do treat rookies and things like that. Even the way we've spoken about Dalton at times this year, how like the guy's only just he's 13 games into the NBA system. You're gonna have one or two bad games. But we sort of don't really the way the news cycle works, social media and that, you don't really allow these players to have that. Where if all we can see is improvement, so we go back to the game where he starts, plays poorly. He then, I think the next game, he didn't start, but he got significant minutes and didn't play that well either. Then he was sort of dropped, not dropped, but he played less the next few games, and then he's had this blowout game. You got to sort of expect that from the rookie, but it's how you treat him from there. So Dalton for me is just he looks awesome. I was absolutely loving it, like we said on the weekend in terms of the offensive play, the dunking. I think Trader's making like a good point, but I also feel like Dalton's not Luca. Luca just like Luca gives up at times on defense or doesn't care because he's got to go the other
And
way.
that's been part of the problem for Dallas this season.
Yeah. Yeah, where like Dalton's not like that. I mean, he's not going to be Bruce Bowen, but he's not getting beaten all the time either. So unless you're willing to play him to give him a chance to get better on the defensive side, you're not going to see improvement there. So we've seen enough of Reddish to know the guy's a lockdown defender. So maybe you find some minutes out of AR's minutes for Dalton. I'm not too sure how you mix it up. I'm not saying
I
ready.
mean, they
Like,
play
I don't.
well. Well, they play
Yeah,
well together on the offensive end.
that's yeah,
Defensively, it's not
yeah.
pretty.
It's
Avon
not.
Traders is
Yeah,
right, and I will not say otherwise. It's his
yeah.
defense
Fair
at
enough.
times. Yeah,
But
but
it's
the
not like they
Lakers,
don't try. I think
yes.
if they're not trying, or they don't care about defense, that's a different thing. They're like AR tries in everything he does, and Dalton reminds me a lot of that. So you can improve in that sense. Like AR is always going to be a limited defender, but do we really know if Dalton can be? He's athletic enough to go, dunking on the other end. So there's probably enough athleticism there to be a good defender. You got to give these guys a bit more time. Is my read. It's just hard because then we've got LeBron on on the pitch or the field or the court rather, and he doesn't. He's not a super defender either. We've got an absolute beast in AD, so it's an unbalanced squad when they're all out there together. But yeah, I haven't personally seen. I'm not as worried as Van and yourself about Dalton's defense. I'd like to see him be given more time and opportunity to work on that and improve it because I
Yeah.
feel like he can. And the other one was just really quickly, Max, I thought played quite well defensively the other day. So, like we said, if there's going to be a choice between Gabe and Max, man, I'm bringing in Max, obviously.
That's
I
where
think,
that's the problem when we've been hard. Joey, uh, as far as also as well Stone,
yep,
John. They don't even consider Max an NBA player, but we're at the point now where we're obviously favoring Max
yeah,
over Gabe. That's how bad it is for a player. And I know that one thing I will agree with Rick Bucher on it, what he did on his podcast, and he was bashing LeBron. I'll get to
good
Chris's
call,
comment in a second.
Chris. Yeah,
Um,
great call.
Rick Bucher was talking about the packages that teams want for Giannis to give for Giannis, and he said Lakers fans unrealistically believe out there that they could package and put Gabe Vincent as part of that package. And my answer to that would be yes, that's correct. The only reason D'Lo at this point is part of any package, he's going to be in every package, is because the fact it's expiring. It's 18 million and expiring. Maybe he will find, like last year, he'll find and go crazy again once the calendar year
Mm,
changes over, like he did this
wouldn't
past
be
season.
surprised.
I mean, maybe that will happen, but right now I see, him being included in every trade because he's going to be a free agent. Same thing with JHS. He's going to be a free agent. So those guys are going to get their 22 million in. Nobody wants Gabe because not only is he averaging 3 points and a cloud of dust, emphasizing on the cloud of dust there, it's the fact that he's got another 10 million left on his contract after this season. So I think that people out there that want him to be part of any trade scenario are just unrealistic in their expectations, Mark.
Look, the more talk we about Gabe, there's potential for a Joe-like rant from me because I'm not happy. And he's not good enough. And I'd be looking to sort of, he's got to be the player that's sitting alongside Bronny and having a laugh because he's offering nothing. And don't get me wrong, when he first joined us, I was very hopeful, obviously last year, but then he got the injury, how much the injuries affected him, but the levels completely dropped off from where he was, even in Miami. But like we also discussed on the weekend, he's never been a good scorer. That was an anomaly what happened in the finals, and then we all of a sudden got desperate for him and paid him that kind of money. So nah, like someone made the comment a few, it might have been in this forum, it most likely was, and Gabe said, someone said, Gabe's just out there running track, and it's just so true. Like he's just keeping fit by being, you know what I mean? Just running,
Yeah.
like he does nothing. He can't
22
shoot.
million, 22 minutes out there. Yeah, nothing. He'll throw up one
Yeah,
or two shots and then that's it.
but you're supposed to be a point guard. Like you're not even a shooting guard. You're a defender and then you're a point guard. So you got to be doing something with the ball, Gabe. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we're waiting for other players to come back to really drop him in the rotation, but he's yeah. It's like you said. It's sad that we're thinking about Max, over him, but that's how desperate we are. And um, let's just see what JJ does. I think he's making all the right moves, so I'm pretty sure he can see it. It's just whether or not he's going to be able to, um, you know, but uh, put Gabe essentially on the bench for long extended periods of time. Gabe's the kind of dude you bring in when we're winning by 15, 20 points with 5 minutes to go. He's got to be dropped from the rotation, Gerald, and man, I'm going to be disappointed if I don't see that. You need to give those minutes to someone else. And okay, not Bronny James. If the only
Uh,
other option's Bronny, Gabe's fine.
Olivari's still sitting there, scoring 25 to
My
30 a
boy,
game.
my boy Quincy.
Yep.
Yeah, nah loving him, man, and he looks strong and all that. We've got to find a way to get him into the team. We've got to find a way to upgrade that contract from a two-way to a normal contract somehow. I don't know why they can just like rock up to Gabe and just go, mate, like this hasn't worked out for anyone. Can you just retire and we'll keep paying you for like 10 years or something? Just get it done because he's trash. But just quickly, what a great point by Chris. And I
Yes.
haven't seen Chris's name before, Gerald. Have you seen?
He's been here a few
Okay,
times. Yeah, it's good to have him
yeah,
here. Connect is coachable, and he had tough coaches who had challenged him, aka Rick Barnes in Tennessee. Reddick will challenge Connect to improve it in his areas. You can bet he will respond. Again, older player understands what the ramifications are if he doesn't develop. He is more of a finished product, so the upside is not going to be there as much as, say, a younger player,
mm,
but you get more of a finished product and a guy who can contribute, as we saw in the past couple games. We saw he can contribute and contribute well right away.
yeah. He can, and so hopefully that's the next move. Like we keep saying, Gabe, for us to be a good team, Gabe's not going to be unless something changes dramatically and he has like a form, reversal back to how he played in Miami. He's not going to be someone that is going to be on a championship team for us. In terms of a second or third bench player. So let's move on from him and just see what else JJ can conjure up, I suppose, with the other players that they do have there. But there's going to be a need for him because you always need someone that can on the roster that can run around. But yeah, just in terms of the minutes that has gotten to this point, I want to see them drastically reduced and quickly. Even the
Uh,
other day, it was too much for me. He made the right adjustment, but it was
yeah.
too long that he was out there.
JSJ, I do want to let you know you were remarking about Duncan Robinson as the next Heat player to be signed by the Lakers. That is a possibility because next year it's around 20 million, but it's an early termination option for the Miami Heat if they want to go ahead and not uh, give him the final year in his contract. He could become and most likely will become a free agent at the end of the season. I don't think the Heat are going to pay him $20 million, no matter how much of a heater he gets, because he's just so hot and cold of a player. But yeah, that if Rob is still here, I'm sure he'll be tempted at bringing in Duncan Robinson. There you go. So
Well, we hope
uh,
that's not the case.
exactly.
Bring
And
in
Jackson,
Tyler Hero because that
yes,
guy's on a heater.
you know what? He has been in on a heater. I actually have
Yeah,
him in one of my fantasy teams, and he's been doing really
gotcha,
well. So he's been shooting the ball real well, even
man.
though Miami hasn't been the whole
Up and
Eastern
down a bit,
Conference, but
yeah.
yeah.
They got a good win
Uh,
today. They came back from 18,
I
20
think they
points
did.
down.
Yeah, yeah.
Did they
Yep,
beat
yep,
Philly? I think they did.
yeah. Which is not as hard as I thought it would be this season when
No,
things
those
started. Yeah,
players out.
yep.
But
So
honestly, when you're putting up 25 odd points and you're nearly 50% from three, man, that's pretty special numbers. Like, he's pretty much automatic from three. It's
yeah.
it's it's actually awesome to watch. Like yeah, man, what a player.
And then B's only giving you what this time he actually did play, only gave them 11. That's not going to get it done. Jared McCain, this kid, he is the rookie of the
Mm,
year, and
thus
he's
far.
getting another 20 points for him. But yeah, Duncan Robinson right now, just to let you guys know, he probably will be available. I have a feeling they will not go ahead and extend him or get that. They'll probably use the ETO on him coming up
Mm.
next season. But yeah,
Yeah, well, we'll
interesting.
take him on a minimum contract
On
or
a minimum,
something.
yes, on a minimum
We're
for
not going
two
to take
million
12,
guys.
14
Yeah,
like we just paid Gabe.
yeah, yeah,
Man,
absolutely. That's not
but
going to
Rob
work.
will do it
Or
anyway.
11 million for 4 years per year, like we did for Vando. And yeah, don't remind me about that. JSJ says we'll get Jimmy Butler when he will turn into Russell Westbrook. He could be already there, JSJ.
Mm,
Uh, I'll leave it at that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
he's
not
at that
looking
age, isn't he? Like he's 36, Jimmy
35.
Butler. Yeah, 35 turning 36. Like I think because of LeBron's longevity and to a degree Steph's too. Like Steph's
He
playing
did get
so well
30
for his
tonight, so
age.
I'll give
Yeah,
him
yeah,
credit.
in a comeback game. Yeah, and he's gonna
Yes.
do that, Jimmy. He's gonna get you, but he does seem to have dropped off from where he was, 12, 18 months ago when they made the finals.
Hmm.
So see what happens. But yeah, Jimmy Butler in a Lakers uniform, don't see it ever. Hopefully,
No, no, not at this point in time.
no.
But yes, wanted to give everybody an update on the Ariel Hukporti update. 6 minutes, 2 points, and a rebound. The only reason I mentioned that is because of Bronny James. He was drafted after Bronny James, so
That's
I'm just
right.
keeping an eye. I'm
The
keeping an
German
eye on
fellow you
him.
mentioned the other day.
He
Yeah,
got 7 points and 4 blocks the
I
other
know.
day,
I
so yeah,
know.
just just keeping an eye on him. Just
Yeah,
yeah, for you guys out there and Joey, just so you
just
guys
how we
know that
measure Bronny's
yeah,
success. Yeah,
yeah,
but
6'11"
even
kid.
that though, 7 and 4 is more than what Bronny's probably going to get all year. So
Yes,
funny
6'11"
that.
kid too. Yeah, yeah, guy with size.
Yeah,
You
that would have
know,
been a shame right now.
Chris, Chris says I heard another podcast saying that the eventual return of Vando and his value on defense will be a welcome need for the
True,
Lakers.
Jay.
It will, because the Lakers are so porous on defense in the perimeter. Do we foresee his value overtaking Connect's minutes or Reddish? My guess is Reddish because Reddish has been so inept on the offensive end, even though Reddish has played with good defensive tenor, but he is just such a misnomer out there on the offensive end. At this point, the kid's hot. Connect is so hot. He gives you something as an explosive tool that the Lakers. I equate it to. Stop me if you heard this before. When D'Lo turned the contract, as far as excuse me, the calendar year turned to 2024, and D'Lo went on that heater, people were expecting D'Lo at that point in time, and he was delivering on 20, 24, 27 points a game. On occasion, he was getting you those outside shots. He was getting you those 3-point shots. Still playing terrible defense. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
going to sit here and tell you differently
absolutely.
on that, but he was playmaking, doing some things. He was making John Costa look good. But with Dalton Connect, he gives you that kind of explosiveness. And that's the thing I don't that Vanderbilt doesn't have. I understand if he comes in and he looks healthy and he plays healthy. He won't come off. He'll come off the bench to start off with to see and gauge where he's at. But where do you see once he gets back in rotation and if he gives the Lakers what they need on the defensive end? Do you see him cutting into Connect's minutes or Reddish's? That's a good question again, Chris. Truly appreciate it.
Yeah, very good question. And Jay made, a pretty good point as well that Vando will take obviously some of Gabe's minutes when he comes back. So you should see those heavily reduced as well. But um, yeah, in terms of who's going to take the minutes there, I mean, we keep saying it. It's got to be Reddish's minutes, guys. Like the dude's 23. He like has Reddish scored 27 points in a career game? I don't think he would have. He might have in a in a heavy loss to someone. Connect scored 27 points and carried the team. Like, so if you're not going to look at that and think, oh, there's some serious upside here, what are you doing? Like, you're already talking about Quincy saying you're not even looking at him. He's scoring 40 odd points. So JJ's not dumb. And I'd be shocked if the Vanderbilt, return means Connect gets benched significantly. Like that's not. This doesn't even sound right. Like talking about it out loud. The person that you bench is Reddish, and I was talking about it the other day. I think Dalton's a future star for the Lakers. He's not just a future player. A future decent player. from what we're seeing, there's enough there offensively to become a star. So he's got to get time to work on other things, and that's means minutes. And he's not 20, he's not 18. We don't need to worry about he's still growing into his body. He's fully developed. Obviously, he's going to put on a bit more muscle, and maybe not obviously height, but size to some degree. As they're in the NBA system and they do their weights and what have you. But he's a pretty fit dude, a pretty fit unit, and a tall man. So yeah, man, I can't get my head around any sort of thought process that anyone comes back into this team and the result is Dalton's minutes go. Dalton's going to have bad games where he will naturally have minutes reduced because of the way he's playing. He's a rookie, but yeah, this obsession with Reddish and wanting to give him minutes over anyone else has got to stop. If you're looking at what we're the pursuit of excellence, we're wanting to win the chip. The answer is not to play Cam Reddish 30, 35 minutes a game. It's got to be to reduce Cam Reddish's minutes because other players are scoring and offering more to the team. I don't hate Cam Reddish. He, but he's not a starter. He's a bench player, and that's it for me. So yeah, I don't see that happening. I know there's talk of it, but yeah, you've got to find more minutes for Dalton. We keep saying it. I'm not the president of the fan club, but I'm not far off, and I'm loving it. So let's go. What 7 grand saying here? I don't really know too much about
He's talking about he's
He's
asking about the A's moving
yeah,
to
yeah,
Las Vegas. I think it's again the city doesn't want them. The mayor doesn't want them. The city
yeah.
doesn't want them. But we're going to spend money on them anyways. We're
So
gonna.
is that a lock there in Vegas? Are they
Oh,
definitely
it's a
going
lock in
to?
Vegas. They already tore down the Tropicana
Oh
casino. They already
wow.
got approved for that. There's still a commission, fighting for the 400 some odd million, whatever
Okay.
the amount is, that they want it going to the schools instead of this, but
Of
eventually
course, of
greed will
course.
take over and they'll
Yeah.
make the stadium anyways.
Yeah. Forgive it.
Yeah, 7 grand
Why do we
doesn't
need
get it.
schools
Um,
and
they'll
education?
they'll it's okay because they'll just put instead of making the city pay for it. Guess who pays for it? Everybody flying in to Vegas. You will pay for it on your
True.
hotel bills.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
yeah. There'll be a tax,
We
huh?
stick it. Yes, we stick it on you
Yeah,
each
yeah.
and every time. That's what they do here in
Want to go
Vegas.
to
Oh,
Sin
that's what
City, you
make
got
the
to pay
tourists pay
for
for everything.
stadium.
And then
Yeah.
and the problem is it's getting to be that Vegas is not the value it once was. The price goes up, less people come in. But you know what? Again, you guys want the stadium? The A's will play 162 road games because the fact is they won't. Every team that comes in there will have more fans showing up. It's already bad when the Raiders have like well they I mean the Raiders have 17 games, but they have like 8 or 9 home
Yeah.
games here.
Yeah.
Yeah, half of
And
them,
it's
the other
always
teams fans are more popular in the
yeah, that's
stadium than
insane.
they are. So yeah,
Is it
it's
just that you need to start the franchise in Vegas for the people to really love it, like Vegas Golden Knights, for example? Like
now
they're
that's been a
obviously
success
successful.
story. They were a
Yeah,
success story because they came in as an expansion team. They introduced them to the city
freshly. It
because
wasn't
it's
like
freshly.
yeah,
Yes, it was
relocation.
the city adopted them. The city brought them in. They went to the city. They went to the parks. They went to the community. They did a whole bunch of
Gotcha.
stuff
Yeah,
before they
yeah,
even started a game. And not only top of that, it's a creation right here in Vegas that
yeah.
a
That's a
lot of
big
people love,
difference.
and the fact that they won immediately in their first
Yeah,
year. They went to the Stanley Cup Finals in
yeah.
their
Lost,
first year.
and then they won the next year, didn't they?
They won
Is that right?
4 years
Have they
later.
won it since?
They won in their fifth year. They won their
Okay,
fifth year. One
okay.
of the
Yeah, but I
earliest teams
remember
to
that
ever do
first
so.
year was
Yes,
just even we would get coverage of
yes.
it here because you couldn't believe a team that had just come into the league could go all, to the finals. What a phenomenal effort. So
Uh,
yeah, that's understand. So basically, just say in a different world they created a team for they like a whole new franchise, NFL franchise for Vegas. That'd be a lot better supported than than the Raiders, obviously.
Yeah, I've been asked that before, BD, on Twitch. Yeah, I'll never leave the Lakers. I was born, as I say, everybody out there, if you know my story, I was born in Inglewood, California, one block
Man,
away from the Forum, while the
Inglewood.
1969 NBA Finals was going on. I think it was a day off, but you
Wow.
get my drift. My destiny has always been and always will be the purple and gold.
Oh yeah.
God bless LeBron when he buys into an ownership here for an expansion team here in Vegas. Seven, I get it. Why would they want to go ahead? They're talking about a new arena. It's just like Steve Ballmer. He wants his
Inglewood.
new arena. He wanted his new arena. He wanted his own identity. So he got his own identity and built a new arena. And you know what? More power to him for doing that. A new ownership comes in here. They want their new arena, despite the fact we have a brand new T-Mobile arena. They don't want to share it with the Golden Knights. I get it. The Golden Knights are so popular. I get it. So they want to move down. They want their own arena down the street. That's the way it is with big league sports. I didn't say I like it. I didn't say I enjoyed it. I don't want the stadium here. I don't want the A's here because, like you said, 7 grand, they couldn't even get 1,000 people for games in a 40, 50,000 seat stadium. They couldn't get that until they said they were going to move out. Then all of a sudden, everybody starts showing up and says they don't want
Yeah.
the A's to go. That's like,
Funny that.
oh, yeah, funny how that works out. But I get it. But the fact is, again, Las Vegas wants it. They got it. But as far as it's actually more of the state government level. The city itself, like I said, the mayor doesn't want it. I've talked to so many people here in the city. It's like,
That don't want
oh,
it.
great,
Yeah.
more games with the Dodgers we get to see. That's all they
Yeah.
care about. It's the fact that the Dodgers are going to
The
come to
Dodgers are
town.
coming to play.
Yes,
Funny.
because it was
That's
so funny
funny.
because the Dodgers at one time, their AAA team, their minor league team, was here in Vegas. So yeah,
Gotcha.
you got to see Dodgers from time to time. But now, yeah, the real Dodgers are coming. All people care about that. They don't talk about the A's. They don't care about the A's. They care about the fact that there's more Dodgers games here in Las
Maybe I
Vegas that
might
they'll be
start going
playing.
for the A's.
Yeah.
Then I'll be
it's,
their only fan
it's,
in
Gerald,
Australia anyway.
yeah, Gerald, you a real G. Vegas would be a great. Oh, they'll they'll have again. They'll have their share. They'll have thousands, people going. It won't be 1,000 people going to the game, but there will be plenty of seats available. Let's just say that. I mean, I do get comps every now and then for some of the Raiders games because they just can't sell it out. They can't sell it
Yeah,
out.
wow.
The only
That's
time they sell it
crazy.
out
Like you
is
sort
when
of hear
like
that every NFL game's sold out. Yeah.
yeah, it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
And then like Joe will tell you, he could have easily come up for the Pittsburgh Steelers game, which they overtook the entire stadium. It was full of terrible towels in yellow, and all you could see
Gotcha.
the little corner pocket of Raiders fans in black on the right corner, and it's just like, okay, whatever. But yeah, it's
Oh
again
man,
Las
it seems
Vegas. It's a
irrelevant.
trans. Well, Las Vegas is a transient city.
Yeah.
There's not. I mean, the people that say they've been here all their lives are
Yeah.
most likely under the age of 25.
Yep.
Because there's just so many people that have moved in from all over the country to move here to live here, like
Of
myself.
course.
So that
Entertainers. Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
they all have their love of other places, other teams, and things
Yep.
of that nature. And then like I said, the Golden Knights, people have warmed and adapted to them because it was created from scratch that Las
Yeah.
Vegas could have done. It's the first time we've really had a pro team that we could support and get behind. That wasn't like from some like a football league that nobody could remember, or was something from it was actually a legit pro team that we got behind and have supported ever since. And the Golden Knights now set up that it's because of the Golden Knights that the A's, the Raiders, and whatever basketball team eventually comes here, they can all
Mm.
thank the Golden Knights and their success story for the reasons why that they're coming.
Of course, yeah. Just like do you see, now having were your daughters born in Las
Yes.
Vegas,
In the
Gerald?
Las Vegas area, yes.
Area? Like, can you see
Yes.
that, where you've been quite transient in terms of you've moved there, and do you see in 30 or 40 years time that being different because there is, a bunch of veganites or whatever you might want
Yeah,
to
I could
describe
see
them
that being
as?
different. It will start to transform, and there will be more traditional born and raised
Yeah.
Las Vegans in Vegas within 20,
Because it is
30
a quite
years.
popular place to move, isn't it? But I've heard,
It
like, just from what I've
it
heard from
was in
people
the
in
earlier part of the
Hawaii and things like
century.
that.
Yeah, it
Okay.
still is. Yeah, Hawaii, they do consider Las Vegas the seventh island, I think, as far as the extra.
Okay,
There's
there
a
you go.
huge Hawaiian contingent, especially downtown. You'll see a lot of Hawaiian flavor down there. A lot of
Gotcha.
Hawaiian are scattered around the city. It is
A sort of Tonga
definitely
Maori type
no, the ninth
vibe.
island. It's the ninth island, I think.
Okay.
It's one of the extra
Whatever.
islands.
Yeah, yeah, but gotcha. They feel it's very connected.
Yes, it is. They
Yeah.
feel very connected to Las Vegas, and I feel connected when I go to Hawaii. But I'll leave
There you
it.
go. Yeah, yeah, you
But
love it.
uh, uh, there will be with 20, 30 years so many more people that were born and raised here in Vegas. So it
They'll
will
have that
feel like it's more
identity.
there. Yeah, they'll have that
Yeah.
identity. Absolutely. It's Ninth Island. Thank you, BD.
Nice.
Yes, thank you, BD. It's Ninth Island. Yeah, they call it the Ninth Island here because of their love for Las Vegas and papping back and forth. And yeah, it's just
Yeah,
again, Las Vegas is going to be a place that's going to transcend for many years to come.
definitely.
We will have our baseball, we will have our basketball, we'll have all the sports. And it's funny because, um, I've had people ask me before. I have people ask me every now and then exactly what goes on here in Vegas. And I say, what do you want? Do you want an F1 event? Oh, we have that this weekend. Do you want a
Yeah.
NASCAR event? That happens twice a year. Pretty soon I'll say, do you want to go see a baseball game? Go see a baseball game. You want to see a football game? It's
Boom.
literally down. Okay, the baseball stadium will be on one side of Las Vegas and Tropicana Boulevard. If you go across the freeway less than, I'd say about half a mile, I want to say maybe three-quarters of a mile, you've got the stadium for the Raiders. If you go down
Mhm.
maybe 2 blocks, 3 blocks, you've got the T-Mobile Arena from the baseball stadium. So that's
Man,
in proximity.
what a
You're going to
sick
have
area.
Yeah, you're gonna have major casinos already there. Plus, you got a baseball stadium. You've got a already the T-Mobile Arena concerts, Golden Knights, whatever. I mean, yes, Vegas is happening. I'm hoping that everybody we can still support it, but it's all based on the tourism. It's all based on you. It's not based on the locals. It's all based on you because it's all centralized on the strip, my friend. And as long as those people keep on flying down and seeing Vegas is as a value entertainment and value vacation,
Oh, man, and is it
that's what it
ever?
is. But again, we keep on taxing the
Yeah,
tourists.
yeah,
That's going to be a
yeah.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Just do they have, I was just trying to read here. Do they have an MLS team? Is it, you
No, we have the Las Vegas Lights. I don't think they're
yeah,
MLS. I think
just
they're
a slightly
a
below,
notch
are they?
below. Yeah, I think they're a notch
Okay.
below if I'm mistaken. So,
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
that's probably the next thing to do as well,
no,
but
I
no,
won't.
no.
I mean, I'll go to a game, JSJ, if the Angels or Dodgers playing, and somebody gets me a comp. I'm not going to turn down free stuff. So yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I mean, I don't care about the Raiders personally, but somebody sends me a comp for a Raiders game.
which is 7.
Mama no bread, no fool. I'll go to the game.
Oh,
There you go.
nice.
Yeah, I mean,
Who's
anytime I
turning
can
down a
go in.
freebie? What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
in this town, if you hear long enough, you eventually might know someone that can swing
Yeah.
something your way. It's just when you want something like, oh yeah, can you cut me a deal on those U2 tickets at the Sphere? Oh, huh?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Oh,
Huh?
sorry,
Yeah.
who are you? Yeah.
Or how about the UFC tickets at the Sphere or the UFC? Oh, huh?
Yeah.
Who here? Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
but you
sorry, you
want
said
those
Oakland
tickets?
A's versus no one? Yeah, no
Yeah,
worries. I've
there you
got
go.
those right
Exactly.
here for you in my
Yeah,
back
not the
pocket.
Dodgers, but does the Oakland A's versus the Cleveland
Yeah,
Indians.
the
Oh yeah,
Angels.
yeah, sure. We got you. I got you covered there. Yeah, absolutely. So it all depends. So that's
Funny
how this
that.
kind of works. But yeah, but I'll tell
Nah,
you what,
it
my
looks like
friend,
a good town though in terms of, the entertainment side of things.
there's
There's
always something going on.
yeah,
That's the
yeah,
thing I like about Vegas. I came from SoCal, where there was always
yep,
something going on in SoCal every
yeah,
weekend,
of course.
now I'm here in Vegas, where something now is going on in every weekend
It's
here.
a
So
lot
that's
like
always interesting.
Melbourne, Gerald, where they look for that sporting opportunities to attract people to the city. And, Melbourne's got the F1, they've got the tennis Grand Slam. Like, it's a way, obviously, to promote the city, and that's something Vegas has done very well.
Bloodhound, I think last time, if memory serves me correct, the proposed or suggested area, although it's subject to change, God forbid, if they decide to go off the strip, they have literally the entire Clark County area they could choose.
Yeah.
If they keep it on the strip, my guess it's near Resorts Island, across the street from Fountain Blue, which just opened, the Fountain Blue Casino. That's my guess because there's space there that you could put a arena, probably a little bit smaller than the T-Mobile. I would equate it to the one that's in Henderson, which is the Lee's Family Forum, which that's about a 6 to 7,000 seat arena. But it's an NBA arena, so they probably want to make it 12, at least 12 to 15, maybe
Hmm.
18. You could probably build it there. They'll find a way. How far do I live away? About 7 to 10 miles. Yeah, it's
Man,
not
when you
that
told me
far.
that, I was like, "You're
I'm a
right in the middle, hey? Like,
yeah.
you're not
If
far from the city at all."
on a slow day, non F1 because they've got a whole bunch
Yeah,
of traffic there.
yeah,
But if on a slow night, like if I could go at midnight, I could get there in about 12 to 15 minutes. Uh,
insane.
yeah.
Can you
So
see it? Do you have a view of
no,
the
no, I
city?
don't.
Oh,
No,
okay,
because my area is it's protected, it's guarded. I mean, it's too flat in my area.
gotcha.
But if you
You
go
can't
up the
see it.
hills behind me,
Yeah.
yes, you have great views of the strip.
Wow,
Yes, the
man,
hills behind me do. That's the thing that
sick.
the whole Las Vegas. And man, we've gone into a deep Las Vegas
Yeah,
discussion,
sorry,
everyone.
guys.
No worries to my audio listeners. I hope you're enjoying this. But think of
This was
Las
like
Vegas. Think
last
of
week.
the Las Vegas area, Henderson, North Las Vegas. Think of it all as one bowl,
Yep, yep, yep.
surrounded by nothing but mountains. Red Rock
Gotcha.
Canyon, Mount Charleston, Mount. There's just a whole bunch of mountains, and
Wow.
then the entire Clark County, aka Las Vegas, North Las
Where
Vegas, and
you are
Henderson
is
is
just
located.
flat.
It's just
Yep.
yeah, but it all goes like this. It all goes down
Yeah,
like a
yeah, I
bowl
understand. Yeah. So it's
into the
almost like
middle.
a valley. It's not, obviously. It's too much too big to be a valley, but yeah, it's surrounded by mountains. Cool, man. Nah, I have to
Bloodhound,
check
I
it
would
out.
love to go to F1. I actually saw Long Beach, and I'll answer your question next, Chris. Don't worry.
Damn, it is
Um,
this weekend.
yes, F1.
Jealous.
I'm looking forward to seeing it on, but I have to see it on TV because they're still trying to block people from getting free views to it or block cheap views.
Yeah,
They've
they
gone
do
down,
that.
they've slashed prices on it. I'm still looking to see if I get a comp. I already told my contacts if you get a comp your way for Sunday, let us know.
I'm in. Yeah.
I've been when I was a kid. We had the Long Beach Grand Prix. I remember going there as a
Yeah.
kid. Mario
Man, Long
Andretti,
Beach.
seeing him and all the racers during the 1976, 77 era, 78 era, right in that time
Yeah.
frame. So yeah, that truly was a blast. I
I've
would
been to
love to do it.
Melbourne probably about 8 times, to be honest, in like the
Really
last, yeah, about 14 years. Yeah, because I
nice.
lived in Melbourne that whole time, so we used to go every year. Um, it's a funny thing though. It's man, those cars go fast, don't they, Gerald? Like
Yes,
far
yes,
out. How humans even drive them, but at the same time, as a viewing spectacle, when you're there, you sort of get over it pretty quickly because once you see the
yes.
car go around once, you're like, well, whatever. But you can have a good time. There's a lot of extra activities at these things, obviously.
Chris says, I'm getting all these Las Vegas questions. I hope you're liking this audio. I appreciate everyone out there. Chris says, how far are you from the nearest strip club? To my recollection, because again, I don't frequent them. Everybody knows
Legal
the
ones.
ones on the strip, but there are local strip clubs around here. There is one. I think it's about 3 miles away. It's yeah.
Look at
I
Gerald
drive
trying to
by
pretend he doesn't know.
because I
Sorry,
drive by it
Johnny.
when I'm going to the Galleria Mall. There's one near the Galleria Mall here in
Gotcha.
Henderson.
Yeah.
So there's one right on the Henderson city line. So yeah, just to let everybody know, yes,
Yeah, of
I am
course.
aware it's there. It's right near the marijuana store. Well, actually, that doesn't
As
tell you much
well.
because there's marijuana stores all over the city. So that'll tell you what you need to know
Gotcha.
about
Wow,
that.
it's legal. There you go.
Oh, it's way. They've got drive-through. You want to go at 2 o'clock in the morning to
Wow,
a drive-through and get marijuana? There you go. Absolutely.
man. Yeah, none of that here.
These are the conversations that pisses off Joe. Just by the way, Gerald, when did that section of Fremont get closed off to cars? They have closed it down a little bit more. Going east-west, they closed off quite a bit of it. But once you get past Fremont's Las Vegas Boulevard,
Hmm.
going east, you still have that open because the El Cortez, which is one of the oldest hotels and casinos, still has easy access on Fremont. But Fremont, going through the Fremont experience, they did make that a little bit more. They closed that down in certain spots, but they time it out. They still have timed um, east west going through the Fremont experience. You can still go east west on two streets, to my recollection, two or three streets. You can go back. You go east west, but it's timed off. They're taking care of the consumers walking back and forth throughout the Fremont experience. Then about every 5 minutes, they'll open it up for about like 1 or 2 minutes to let traffic go by that way. But
Wow,
then, but then,
that's
but
insane.
remember, it's all encased overhead with the Fremont Street, the marquee. They have the shows with yeah. They also have
Man,
the sky
that area would be
the
nice.
yeah the ride that you go on where they shackle you up. They put you on and you can slide down. What are those things called when you just
Oh,
slide
like a
down?
toboggan
Like
or like
a little bit like Taban. They chain you up and then you like you just go down through the
oh, like
entire
a zip
3 months.
line?
Zip line. There
Yeah,
you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Zip line. Yeah. So yeah, there's
Gotcha.
a zip line
Ah,
that they have.
sick.
Yeah, throughout the entire. Yeah, that one's crazy. There for you. But yeah,
Dude,
I mean, the
what a
older part
place.
and every 10, 15 years or so, a mayor or somebody gets the idea, hey, let's try to renovate the Fremont experience. They'll put like a few million into it, and then they'll just like everybody just likes the old part of Fremont Street. So there you go. So yeah,
Gotcha.
they
Yeah,
just
yeah.
waste a whole bunch of money there, but it is what it is. It's still
No.
there's still fun to be had down in Fremont Street. Rest assured, and they have a lot of good free rock concerts, just to let everybody know as well.
And just quickly, what's the distance in terms of hours driving between Vegas and LA?
Depending how fast you go,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Not that I would know how
above
fast
speed
you go.
limit.
Okay, you go
Yeah.
around 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, yeah, I've the fastest I've gone it's faster. Now get this, it's faster from Las Vegas to LA than it is LA to Las Vegas. There's more hills involved. So there is a little bit
Gotcha.
because
So it's like you actually have to go on different roads. It's
yes,
not
the
like
Cajon Pass. There's a big, huge, long hill called the Cajon Pass in
cojones.
California. You're going up it when you're going to Las Vegas, and you're going down it when you're going to Los
God,
Angeles.
okay,
So that's
understand.
that's that's where mainly the slowdown occurs. But I made it under 3 hours. I made it like
Man.
2 hours and 38 minutes one time back when I was a kid driving close to 105, 106.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
I was maxing out my engine as best I could.
Man, because we
But
talking kilometers here. So when you say 100, I'm thinking, but that's actually like 160 odd Ks an hour.
yes,
Oh, I'm glad you're
with the
here.
kids these days, when I do it now, it's about 3.5, 4 hours. If you
All right.
go on a holiday weekend or on a weekend, it could take
Any,
up to 12 hours.
you're joking just because of
No,
traffic.
just because of traffic. Yeah. Don't ever. One word of advice I would tell all you guys, Las Vegas to Los Angeles, don't ever take either way on a
Okay.
holiday weekend,
Mm.
especially July 4th or New Year's.
Yeah,
You will
yeah. I
regret
mean, you see the traffic, and I mean, I've lived in Melbourne where there's really bad traffic, but you see the traffic in LA, and you just think that's just I couldn't even do it
it. Yes.
for a
Thank you,
second.
Bloodhound, for the zip line. Yeah, I just couldn't think of that. Gerald, have I ever? Yes, but I have been to Reno, biggest little city in the world that they kind of advertise itself as. It's okay. It's better in the winter
Reno
because
911. Remember that series? Was
yes,
it?
yes, Reno
Yeah, that was.
911. Yes, crazy
Yeah,
series
sorry,
that was.
Reno
Yes,
911.
they do. I know you're 911, but it's 911. They used to say. Yeah,
Oh,
Reno's
sorry.
itself. It's a it is a smaller city, but it's a decent sized city, but it has a small city feel. They do have the casinos there, but the best time to go in there is, I'd say, just when the snow starts, because it is
Okay,
much colder
beautiful.
there than it is in Vegas. They
Hmm.
traditionally get way more snow than Vegas gets, and it is quite striking when you go there and see that as far as the snow is concerned, especially for a guy that lived in SoCal a good portion of his life. So
Wow.
Yes,
I've
Chris.
never even seen snow, so
Yes, you've never
there you
seen.
go.
Okay, so that's
No.
when you need to come. You need to
I have
come.
when I went to Europe, but obviously in
Okay.
Australia, it's just yeah, you don't get snow unless you go to like certain places, but very
Laughlin is
very rare.
Seven's asking me thoughts on Laughlin. I like Laughlin. It's not a whole lot to it, but
Mm,
you go there, you go have some fun. There's some decent food there, and you know what? I've had a good time with the kids. I haven't been there in 10 plus years, but Laughlin was. It's older. It's got a much older
okay,
feel, but it's small. But it's a nice on the way to, let's say you're going to the Grand Canyon, or you're just going into Arizona, or you're going somewhere, you're going out of state and leaving Las Vegas, or you're coming in and you're going to Las Vegas from Laughlin. It's a nice stopover for a few hours. So got to teach
nice.
the Aussie the ways of Vegas. Well, if he ever comes down again, he always talks about Joey and I going there. Well,
Well, I was just going to yeah comment on that, but maybe I can teach you the ways of the Gold Coast. But
absolutely, yes.
uh,
Well, you always tell us about your views there on Surfing
yeah, look, it's
Paradise.
insane. Yeah,
Yes,
it's what a
absolutely.
place. But
It's
no,
on
if
Lake.
I do plan to hopefully go next year and just yeah, I'm not the best flyer. I developed a little bit of a issue
Oh,
with flying, even though I've been to Europe like 3 times and Asia, but just something I've developed in recent years. But hopefully to break that next year and make my way over to the States. And there's actually really good like prices to fly there and stuff at the moment too. So really looking
Aussie just
heavily
came
at it.
back, so
Yeah,
if you have any questions, I could
hit him
reach
up.
out for you, and I could get you two together talking on that if you
Yeah,
have any
yeah, that'd be
questions for
great.
him. Yeah, just let me
Yeah,
know.
top bloke.
Actually, I'll see when I talk to John, aka Aussie. I'll let him know that you're asking if you're on the chat with him. But yeah, I'll ask him
Yeah,
if he
please
could
do,
get in
and
touch.
we'll go from there. Yeah,
Yeah, because he
his
was
name's
all over
John.
the place. He was going to LA. He was going to Vegas. Then he went back to LA, and
He
then
said-
he went up and down the coast. Yeah,
Man,
he
love that.
was
Would love it.
he and the family had a great time, man. Their family was so his family was so nice, and I got nothing to say but great things about him.
Yeah,
I,
yeah. Well,
I'm
look, that's the
surprised.
kind of influence you have on people that they go all that way to see someone like you. That's
Yep,
awesome, Gerald.
I
It mean a lot
appreciate it.
to some people.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, if you come, I'll make sure you have a good time, my friend.
Done
Uh,
deal.
JSJ says, I'm surprised Joey is not in the. I invite him. I sent out the email. Mark is my witness. He sees the email. He sees his name
I
on there.
saw it.
Yeah,
I
yes.
even messaged Joe at one point during the stream and said, "I'm on camera. Come on, buddy." But yeah, no, yeah,
He's obviously still
we'll
taking it
get there,
hard.
guys.
Yes, he's probably still taking it hard.
Yeah,
I didn't know he would take it that bad, but when he's insulting me all the time, I'm supposed to just laugh it off. When I get him, it's it is what it is. But he's always welcome. In fact, I know that the other day that Joshua Deeds was, a big fan of his, was asking, "We miss you, Joe." I was like, because it was the post game you and I were on. I'm like,
yeah,
it
yeah,
was just one day. It's one day.
yeah. I know, I know.
He was invited too to come to that, but he chose not to do it.
Yeah,
He is not wanting to come, Joshua. So it's up to him, not us. So I always send out the invites, so it's up to him to accept it.
I just think, yeah, like everyone looks forward to yourself and Joe having a chat. So it's
Exactly.
always going to be whoever
I,
comes
I
on
still
is
enjoy
a little
getting
bit of second
insulted
fiddle.
for an hour and a half. Yes, I look forward to that. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, love it. But just
Uh,
quickly, really,
yes.
really quickly, two things. Crocodile, of course. You can, crocodiles obviously very common here, Jay, and particularly where was it Jay? Sorry, Seven, where I live in Queensland, which is where the crocodile hunter came from. Crikey, is not far from me. So not on. It's not. You won't see a croc at the beach, put it that way, but without very little effort, you can see a croc and man, kangaroos, Gerald. I mean, I've seen some things with kangaroos, but you can be just walking randomly down a street and see a kangaroo the size of, a big bear. So there, yeah, kangaroos are everywhere here. Not, so you might talk to some other Australians that don't have that experience, but I've seen kangaroos in the, middle of a sporting car park and just anywhere here. And koalas are the same. So it's a wild place.
Oh, but it sounds so beautiful, my friend.
Ah,
Seventh asking, is it like for Florida, where every body of water you can expect a croc?
No, they're not like alligators. Like crocs need certain conditions, and they're not, as prevalent in, suburban areas, but they're around. And if you go on their territory, it's good night. So the thing with crocs is, I think they're the most powerful animal or mammal, whatever you call it. There's something about their power in their jaw, and man, they're scary creatures. But we get everything here, as you know. We get snakes, spiders. It's a funny place because people sort of come here and they get scared by just our animals, but when you just grow up with it, you don't know any different. And then I see some of the stuff you've got going on over there, like rattlesnakes and things like that. We don't want that here. So
The
I think it's just,
scorpions are the ones that we
yeah,
always worry about.
wow. Do you get them in the
Uh,
house?
oh yeah,
Like,
that's
are you serious?
yes.
Scorpions
I have to. We have to have a company spray here every month, and that still doesn't get them
every
out of the
month.
house. Yeah, every month. And if they come, I have to have they come on special notice because
What?
I still get them. Yeah, I've gotten 2 or 3 this year in the house. So, yeah.
Isn't it? Aren't they like it's one bite you're gone pretty much scenario,
It
or
depends
is
on
it
the scorpion. It depends
okay?
on the scorpion. Some of them are gonna be just owies, some of them are gonna be really owies. I'll
Yeah,
but there it depends on which scorpion you get bit by, which I do not want myself or my family to
ever.
have in any way, shape, or but
No.
yeah, when we see them, you do the hot water trick. You really you put yeah, we've learned over the course of time exactly how
How
to
to
kill these
handle
suckers.
it.
But yeah, hot, super hot water, they're done.
Yeah, that
You know,
really?
yes.
They're fried, huh?
Yes,
Okay.
either fried, but I also make sure we have scorpion spray and stuff like that. So I do the
Man,
hot water
that's a
and the
whole
scorpion at
different
the same
level.
time. Yeah, the rigor mortis kicks in
Oh,
right away. So yeah.
unreal.
Chris says, "Is the population of kangaroos really getting out of hand over there?"
Oh, not like it's like anything, at the end of the day, we're the humans. So if things do get out of hand, it's going to be taken control of. But you do see kangaroos in places that people would find quite unusual, put it that way.
It's like when you go to Hawaii. It's not, but some people are not always aware of this, but in certain islands in Hawaii, they are overrun with chickens. So
Oh,
you
really?
go, yes, and so you go, just they're like all over the place at the local market, like you said, in the car parks and the parking lots, and
That's
they're
funny.
just at in front of people's houses, like dogs or cats would be, and they're just like a group here, a
Are
group
they
there.
like wild chickens that you
Yes,
can't
they're
sort of
wild
eat?
chickens.
Like,
They're
can
I
you?
don't know if you can eat them. I don't know if people
y-
do eat them, but they
Yeah,
are like
yeah.
wild chickens. Yeah, it's only on some of the islands
Okay,
in
that's
Hawaii,
funny.
but yeah, it's just you go there and it's just like, oh wow, I wasn't
Just
expecting this.
chicken, yeah, just
Like
like
if you hear sometimes in the background when Michael's talking, when he has
yeah,
his mic on, you may be able to hear
you're a
some
chicken.
roosters or chickens because they are on his island.
That's
I
funny,
forget
man.
keep on forgetting to ask which island he's on, but yeah, he does have them. I have
Man,
heard them right there. Yep.
jeez,
That's
how many
Kauai. Yes,
chickens are there in the world?
Kauai. Yes, yes, absolutely. Uh, yep, seen a bunch of galinas in the island of Kauai. Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, if you get a chance,
sorry,
though.
I've taken you off topic a bit here,
No, no,
but
Hawaii is
I
so
love just
beautiful.
finding out
Yeah,
stuff.
anybody who wants to talk to me about Hawaii, I love Hawaii. I love all the
Yeah,
islands of
yeah.
Hawaii, but Kauai is my
Nicole
favorite.
Kidman,
Yeah,
she's born there.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, one of
Absolutely.
Australia's great actresses.
Yep. And she is a credit. She's still working like
Yeah,
nonstop today. So give her all the credit in the world for that.
yep,
7 Grand says in California, Nevada, there's no man eaters like Australians. Yeah, there's no crocs on the West Coast here. So that's
that's a
probably a
good
good
thing.
thing. Yes.
Yeah. Or
Um,
you great white sharks, you probably get them around the joint, but yeah, where
a
I
little bit on the coast, depends on the coast, but
yeah,
yeah, a little bit on the West Coast. Up in Hawaii, it's more of an issue there as
okay,
far as yeah.
of course.
Who
It's
is your
game over.
favorite Australian actor, JSJ? We'll go ahead and hang it on up after that.
All right. Oh, look, hard to say. I mean, someone right now is pretty popular is obviously that Chris Hemsworth. And he does have a Spanish wife, so I'm always going to be a fan of that.
She is very beautiful, very lovely. So
Yeah,
yes,
but
I
and
understand. I
older
agree with
than
you.
him
But
too. So.
I'm hoping for the best because I know he was devastated when he found out he was doing that show
Yeah.
National Geographic show, and he found out that he has a
Oh, yeah.
predisposition for
To,
what is it,
to
Alzheimer's?
something. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So that was devastating for him. So he had to completely change his diet, his
His diet
training.
and that.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
exactly.
look, maybe it was a positive. But obviously a great actor, and you can go some of our. We've got some great actors, like even some of the older actresses, like a Kate Blanchett. Man, but I didn't. People didn't like the movie she was just in, the video game movie.
Boulderlands.
Yeah, but man, Gerald, 55. Jeez, she's still got it. She's hot as. So
Yeah,
I'm down with her. And when I think about who's my all-time favorite, obviously like a Heath Ledger comes to mind, or Hugh Jackman. I like. He's entertaining, but he's yeah. Or sorry, Russell Crowe, another great actor who is New Zealand and Australia. So we've had a lot, obviously, over the journey,
what is
and
your
we'll
thoughts on
continue
Mel
to.
Gibson?
Well,
Or what's the
you want to.
country? Yeah, he's
So
had
you don't
his.
like a political show?
Yeah, I don't like it. But putting that aside, what does the country
Yeah.
think of him?
Yeah, look, he doesn't feel as Australian as some of these other guys. Like, I think
Mhm.
he's been in America for so long that we don't really resonate with him. He's where you like even a Nicole Kidman and things like that. They've been away from the country a lot more, but they've come back a lot more. They've got houses here and things like that. He might have a house here and things, but he's not like Nicole Kidman, your Kate Blanchetts. They'll come back
Mhm.
and they'll go on Australian TV, and we don't really see him as Australian. I could be wrong. I don't want to speak for the whole audience, but I don't see him as an Australian.
It's so
I
funny
see
though, as I always remarked that the Patriot was starring for the American Revolution was starring two Australians,
two
and he,
Australians. Yeah,
yeah,
go
yeah. So
figure.
you go
And
figure.
even the one he did where he won he was Scottish in that as well.
Yeah,
And
yeah, right.
yeah,
It's
actors
hilarious.
are actors.
Exactly. Margot Robbie, we'll go ahead and on out JSJ.
Oh,
I know.
yeah. Sorry, guys. Cool.
Congratulations to her. She just had a child, so
Yes.
she's having
Congratulations to the
she's
whole.
riding the wave of Barbie, but you guys, she does recognize her where she's from, and
Definitely.
she,
Oh no, she comes back all the time, and
yeah,
yeah, I mean that's important to us, obviously.
it should be absolutely.
Yeah, because that then spreads the word about Australia, and it makes you prouder about those people. Where if you, it's sort of like a Ben Simmons, where Ben Simmons, he again, I mean, we call him Australian when he's playing well, but he doesn't really feel Australian. A very similar scenario to Mel Gibson, where you've got a player like, and it's not because of their race or anything like that. It's because they've left at a young age and they haven't really stayed connected with the country. Where Giddy, you'll always see him back in the preseason, or he'll talk about the Australian Football League and things like that. That um, yeah, we if you turn our back on us, we'll turn our back on you pretty quickly. Put it that way.
Well, we're not turning our back on you guys out there because
Nope.
Crocodile Dundee. At one time,
Hey,
he was the toast. Yeah,
throw
I
another
if you
shrimp
could
on
ever
the
get a
barbie.
chance, if you could find his old show that
Yeah,
he
Paul Hogan.
it was,
Yeah, where
yeah,
he.
Paul Hogan, but Benny Hill did it in the UK, and then Paul Hogan
Yeah,
did his show before Crocodile Dundee.
yeah, like just sort of that slapstick type humor. Humor before its time. Some of that stuff, like
Yeah.
it is sort of YouTube s type skits and things like that. Not in the same vein, but yeah, sort of ahead of its time. That type of comedy. But no, he was a funny guy, and he was some that would come back as well. But again, he felt a little bit more American than he does Australian. Paul Hogan, believe it or not.
Well, there you go. All
Mm-mm.
right, you guys got your full Vegas and Australian talk there. Mark, aka Xbox, is here with me. I cannot thank you, Mark, enough for stopping by.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, it is the Lakers, 7:30 p.m. here on the West Coast. Tomorrow night against the Utah Jazz. We'll see if we can put in a dab in a little bit of a pregame for you guys, but then of course
Yeah.
playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Plan on watching the game tomorrow with us?
Well, look, the thing for me is during the week, as you know, I'm working. So the
Yes.
games are on. Like we got on now. I'd actually finished half an hour before we got on, and now it's nearly 6 p.m. at night. So perfect timing. So I'll definitely try to join the pre-game especially if there's no Joe. I feel like if Joe comes back, we might need to give him his own space. So let's
Yes.
just see
Oh,
where he's
I'm
at.
sure I'll hear for the next first 10, 15 minutes when he's back, insults galore and him
Yeah.
grumbling and all that stuff. Yeah,
So
it'll
we'll
be
enjoy that, but
yeah,
I
you'll
will do
enjoy
my
it. I'm
best.
glad. Yes, you'll enjoy it. So I'll just have to be here and just go. All right, there you go. I
Just
got you. I got you good. I showed you who's the boss. Showed you who runs the channel. There you go. And he'll be like,
no comment.
oh, F F F F F F F F F F F F F F F. So that's how he is. But we
Not
love
getting
him.
involved. Yeah,
Yes,
nah.
yeah, we
But
love him.
let's
It's
just hope we
Joe.
get the dub. Let's
Yes,
really looking forward to seeing us play again and getting a bit of momentum out of hopefully Dalton in particular.
yes.
Let's
I
roll,
I
baby.
I will. It's that's like as well. Likewise as well. It is of course Mark aka Xbox, and tomorrow it is the Lakers and Utah Jazz. Looking forward for the Lakers to go 10-4. Keep focused. Win these games in front of you tonight. It'd be great to go ahead and see them go ahead into tomorrow focused, ready, beating Utah, then also beating Orlando, who does not have Bankero in the lineup. You
Yep.
got to play who's in front of you. Go ahead, execute at home, and see what you can do about getting it done. So yes, PD Joe Sorrow. Uh, well, you know what? Again, I'm not going to be too hard to guy. I've already been I'm sure he's got nothing but F bombs for me, so it is what it is. JSJ, I think we'll see him again. I don't think he's gone forever. He's gonna finally
Joe's
cave
all
in.
good.
Joshua Dietz or Mark or somebody from Australia, somebody out there will get him
We'll
back on the
turn him
show.
around. Don't worry, don't
Yes,
worry.
I send him invites every single time. He knows where we're
He'll
at.
be back.
He'll be back. So yes, there you go.
I think it's a
Indeed.
perfect time for him maybe to have a couple of days off anyway,
Yes,
as
I
long as
know he
he
has the game coming up too, coming up on the 22nd. So I will give that a plug. If you guys are
Yep,
into fighting games, Corrupt on Steam,
definitely.
Coreupt on
That's it.
Steam. Yes, so there you go.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
Real
But it is, of course, coming soon as well. The Lakers and the Utah Jazz coming tomorrow night. We'll be back here providing you all the coverage. Playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. I'll see if I can sneak in a pregame and then, of course, our
nice.
award winning in our own minds, Lakers post game as well. Maybe even a nightcap if the grizzly bear decides to come out of his cave. Yeah, you
I've
guys
got
ask
mine
him.
ready for
There you
tomorrow.
go. He's got his ready. So there you go. But yes, it is up to him. Uh, so Joshua, it's nothing of my doing. He complained after Joshua was asking for him. He said it's up to me. That's not up to me. I send him the emails. It's up to him to go ahead and click on. Use the little mouse. It's the left button to say yes. There you go. So it's up to him. So he's welcome back
Nah,
anytime.
we
I've
love you,
always had
Joey.
yes. I'm always ready for his lambasting of me in some sort of fashions because that's all I seem to do as the guy running the channel here. So yes, waiting until he yells at me more, insults me more, forgets everything I said. Yeah, there you go. Okay, all right. It is the usual deal. But Mark, it's been great having you here. Looking forward to
Thanks,
your
heaps.
insight tomorrow. As much as you can provide it, as much as you can be here, as much as
Appreciate
you
it.
guys can be here as well. Thank you for 1,900 subscribers right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Big shout out to you, BD on Twitch. Big shout out to everyone as well. Be safe.